Alright, let's begin. Hello everybody, welcome back to my series of Ninjago episode review live streams. In today's stream we are taking a look at episode 91 of Ninjago entitled The Weakest Link. This is the 7th episode of Season 9 Hunted, and it's actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this episode. For those of you guys that are new here, welcome. This is our streaming schedule. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will be updating this every day. If I cannot stream on a specific day, I'll let you guys know via my community tab. Yeah, I am tired. I just woke up like a half hour ago, I think. In terms of what the drink is today, we got ourselves a nice bottle of spring water, Nature's Touch spring water. Not sponsored. I wish someone sponsored me, please. As I take a sip of that really quick. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. Like I said, I really enjoyed this episode watching it last night. Pleasant surprise, I didn't remember this episode being so good. But yeah, normally what we do for these streams, we let the episode pictures run in the background as we break down the plot, the good, the bad, and then finally we will give the episode a score out of 10. So let's not waste any time here. Let's begin. You hate water. Yeah, water's not for everybody, though most of our bodies are water. But, you know, I get it. I personally enjoy water. It's like the purest thing that you can put into your body. So, I don't know. I like it. And so, in terms of the plot, let's begin. And Waffle is in the corner of the room, trying to get out of the door. So, if she starts rattling on the door, I might have to get up and let her out. Otherwise, she might come sit down. Hopefully. Hopefully she'll come sit down. So yeah, in terms of the plot, picking up after the end of the last episode, Harumi is still captured, and Mistake and the rest of the Resistance do have sort of an upper hand on her. They have a plan in motion. We'll find out what that plan is later on. And Harumi is basically up to something. She kind of tells a couple of very choice words to the Resistance, and the Resistance kind of questions Harumi's safety. So they're going to be keeping a close eye on her over the course of this episode. They also found the Oni mask of hatred, and Mistake and the rest of the Resistance suggested that Lloyd actually wears it because, again, he doesn't have any powers. So in order to, I guess, stand a chance against Garmadon and the rest of the Sons of Garmadon forces, maybe Lloyd should wear the mask. Ultimately, it is dark magic, but Lloyd should be fine since he is part Oni. Obviously, with that, though, Lloyd kind of denies that. He wants to do this right, which I find to be admirable. Yeah, Harumi's definitely not in a good place here. Very unstable. You'll be surprised that they actually recruit Dareth to watch him in this episode. Seems like a good idea. Yeah, this is kind of like an episode review / recap. We're gonna go over the plot first, and then we'll talk about some good and bad stuff. So, yeah, I think if Lloyd wore the mask, it would be a lot of fun. I was actually kind of expecting Lloyd to put on the mask of hatred, but, you know, ultimately we really didn't get all that, so it's kind of unfortunate. Meanwhile, back in the First Realm, the Iron Baron is currently hunting the ninja. The dragon hunters decide to trace their scent, if you will, and they find that it crosses into Oni territory, which, of course, makes the dragon hunters kind of hesitant. Reluctantly, they follow the Iron Baron into the Oni territory, and now the ninja actually should, you know, keep an eye out for them. The ninja wake up in the First Realm and talk about Ninjago with Faith. She hilariously mispronounces the name, as she's been doing, and ultimately it's, you know, it's something that they all want to do. They all want to get back to Ninjago. Faith wants to get out of the realm in some form. She just wants to go to a place where she can be, you know, safe and happy to an extent. She spent a lot of her life as the Iron Baron's right-hand man, and after she realizes that the Iron Baron has been lying to her this entire time, she just wants to get out of there, which is understandable. I mean, I really enjoy Faith. Faith is a really fun character, and I understand where she's coming from there. Meanwhile, the ninja practice their little chaining thing. They practice using those little dragon hunter chains, whatever you want to call them. They're like chains on whatever that they shoot out, and you know, it's used to capture dragons. It's hard to describe, but they practice using them on boulders, and they're not going to rest until all of the ninja know how to use one of those. So we get treated to a little montage where Master Wu decides to give up because he can't do it, but after a quick pep talk with Kai, he's actually able to do so. So I thought that was pretty nice. He actually uses his skills to the test later on when he has to ride a dragon, sort of chain the dragon and then walk across the chain and try to ride the dragon. We get treated to a little bit of a scene where they try to take down a lightning dragon, or at least use it for practice, so I thought that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. I really liked the pep talk with Wu and Kai though. That was actually a lot of fun. I liked it quite a bit. But after Wu fails to ride the dragon, he kind of falls off the dragon, but Faith manages to save him, so that's good. And back in Ninjago, just going on through the plot here, excuse me. The Resistance basically has a plan. Their plan is to use Skylar to get close to Garmadon to borrow his power and control the Oni Titan. That's the plan there. But in order to do that, they need to get Skylar close to Garmadon, close enough for her to touch him, and that's where Mistake comes in. Mistake disguises herself as Harumi, and they're going to be using Mistake Harumi to get close to Garmadon in order to get Skylar to obtain his power, and hopefully she can use it to control the Oni Titan, actually give the Resistance some type of leverage over Garmadon. They actually have a pretty good, advantage in this episode, but ultimately it comes to waste when Harumi escapes, and Harumi breaks free because they decide to put Dareth in charge of her. Not sure why they decided to do that. Ultimately, though, I don't think anyone else could have done any better, if we're being honest. Like, Harumi is pretty much, she's pretty much like top dog right now, aside from Garmadon, of course. I don't think. Yeah, Dareth did have one job, but ultimately he failed. Really don't like Dareth, but it's not his fault. Yeah, I'm seeing a couple comments saying lag, but I'm not seeing any dropped frames on my end, which is weird. I'm not seeing any dropped frames over here, but we're getting a lot of comments talking about lag. So why don't I refresh the stream? I recommend everyone else do that as well, and then we'll see where this goes from here. We haven't had issues for a while. Hi, Waffle. You're back, aren't you? You're here in our time of need. Yeah, a bunch of people are saying lag in the chat. Weirdly enough, though, I'm not seeing any lag on my end, but I did refresh the stream over on my other screen, so hopefully we're fine. Yeah, usually it tells me if I have something wrong with the internet, but I'm not seeing anything over here, so maybe it's a problem with YouTube? Maybe? But let's continue. Seems to be all good now, as Waffle sits on my notes. Go away, Waffle. I cannot see. I actually legitimately can't see my notes, Waffle. Okay, so yeah, Harumi broke free because they decided to put Dareth in charge. It's always fun, always a good idea. Back in the first realm, Faith basically leads the expedition towards the dragon armor, but the Iron Baron appears and kind of has a little bit of a chase sequence with the ninja. It's a lot of fun. The Iron Baron wants Faith alive, but wants the other ninja dead, which is shocking, but hey, whatever works, I suppose. The Iron Baron has his own plans here, and he eventually succeeds in capturing Faith, but ultimately learns that Wu is indeed the son of the first Spinjitzu master. That'll be something that he puts in his back pocket and saves for later. Ultimately, though, they decide to capture Faith, and the ninja manage to escape. Back in Ninjago, Harumi, quote-unquote Harumi, and Skylar make their way to Garmadon. Harumi has captured Skylar, apparently, and she decides to bring her to Garmadon, and Skylar's totally not going to steal Garmadon's powers. No way. Harumi would never let that happen. Ultimately, though, this is Mistake trying to get Skylar close, and it works for a while until Ultraviolet starts, poking holes in the plan, and then holes get poked in the plan even more once the real Harumi appears, and now it's like, uh-oh, now what's going to happen? This scene really confused Garmadon. I can tell Garmadon is definitely, not having a good time here. He's so confused, which I thought was actually strangely cute from Garmadon's side. But hey, that's where the episode comes to a close, with this big revolution being revealed. Who's worse, Asphira or Iron Baron? I'd say Asphira. Iron Baron, rewatching him for these streams, he's actually a lot of fun. Still not great, still not a very well written villain, but not as bad as Asphira, I'd say. So that'll pretty much do it for the plot. Let's go ahead and talk about good and bad. So I got a lot of good to talk about here, obviously. I said before that this episode was pretty good, and it is. There's a lot of really specific stuff that I want to point out here. First of all, the Wu training bit. I loved that. I loved the montage with all the ninja training with the little grappling hook things, or whatever you want to call them. And I really enjoyed Kai's pep talk to Wu. Waffle's trying to eat my Sharpie. Do you not have food? If you're not going to eat, you can't eat Sharpies. That's probably worse than eating pencils, dude. Don't do that. But yeah, I liked Kai's pep talk to Wu. It showed that Kai is taking a turn now to try to train Wu, and it's kind of like a reverse training. As I said, very similar to how the ninja were trained by Wu, they kind of train him the same way, which I thought was a lot of fun. So ultimately, it's the same thing with riding the dragon. I liked that scene too. It shows that, again, Wu is still inexperienced, and now the ninja need to take a turn training him, much like he trained them back in the day. So, yeah, she's fine. I'm keeping the Sharpies away from her. I use Sharpies to take my notes, and Waffle's like, ooh, human's doing something. I want to eat it. It's usually how it goes. Yeah, go sit down somewhere else. Okay, she's laying down on the chair. Good stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed that kind of role reversal with Wu being trained by the ninja. A lot of the same lessons kind of apply to Wu, so I enjoyed that. We also get to see a little bit more of Faith, and I thought she was once again fantastic in this episode. I love Faith. Faith is such a good character. I think she's a lot of fun. Ultimately, she gets captured in this episode, which is not super great, but you know, it's not her fault. It's not the fault of the character. It's just something in the plot that it's like, oh no, I hope she's okay. We'll see her in the next episode, but Faith is a really good character, and this episode kind of backs up her character even more. We saw a little bit of that in the last episode, and this episode continues that. I also want to talk about Lloyd's plan, because it's actually not that bad of a plan. I really enjoyed how Lloyd wanted to get Skylar close to Garmadon so that Skylar could absorb his power. It seems like a good idea in theory, but ultimately we will see what that does to Skylar, which, you know, isn't great for her, but it's a good plan. Like, in theory, on paper, it's a good plan. I feel like Lloyd is finally coming around and being a fantastic leader here. Even without his powers, he's still the Green Ninja. They actually have a little bit of a moment in this episode where Lloyd once again wears his colors, and Nia comments on that. And he decides to talk about how, you know, Nia was right in the previous episode. He's still the Green Ninja, even though his costume might not be there, even though his powers might not be there. He still is the Green Ninja, which I thought was awesome. I also really enjoyed Mistake and Skylar in this plan. Once again, like I said, Mistake is a cool character. I don't think it's this episode that she dies, it's the next episode, because we see her fight Garmadon a little bit in the next episode, if I'm remembering correctly, you know? So she'll probably perish in the next episode. Rest in peace, Mistake. But, you know, she's still a cool character. Lloyd and Nia moments. I don't know about that. Yeah, after this season, a lot of people started to ship Lloyd and Nia. I don't know about that. I think they work better as friends or teammates. Yeah, the plan was going really well until Harumi showed up. I enjoyed that. Um, Last thing I want to talk about in terms of good, the Ninja versus Iron Baron. This chase scene is very different from the chase scene in the last episode because there's actual stakes here. I have written down, Faith is actually captured, so something actually comes from this, which the last episode's chase scene felt a little generic. This episode actually feels like there's something to fight for, which I do have to admit is pretty cool. Ultimately, Faith is captured, but there are stakes here. Again, the ninja don't want anyone captured. The ninja are a team now with Faith, and having one of those people be removed from the team isn't going to be great for anybody. So I enjoyed how there was actually like some type of stakes going on here. Like I said, it made for a better chase scene and a better fight overall. In terms of bad, I don't have a whole lot to say. The only thing that I can kind of nitpick is why would you put Dareth to guard Harumi? But ultimately, like I said earlier, I don't think anybody else would have done any better. Harumi is very smart and very mischievous. I mean, that's what makes her a villain naturally. And I don't think anybody else would have been able to, I guess, do better. I'm sure some people could have done better, but I feel like Harumi still would have escaped no matter what. Again, it was her plan to be captured. It was her plan to be brought in. So I really don't think that that's the fault of the episode or the fault of Dareth or whatever. I'm going to give Dareth a pass on this one. At least he tried, you know, he tried to resist her for a little bit. So I feel like Harumi would have escaped either way, but I do feel like, yeah, someone like Nia would have done a little better. I liked Harumi's line at the end of the episode too. But yeah, that's really the only thing that I have to say in terms of bad. I'm not going to take off any points for that because, you know, it's kind of like a minor nitpick. I feel like Harumi still would have gotten away no matter what would have happened. So in terms of a score, I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a 10 out of 10. I feel like this episode deserves a 10, at least in my opinion. I enjoyed it. I liked it. As you can see in my original review, I gave it an 8.5. I took off points for the same thing, for Dareth and whatnot. So I didn't really appreciate my rating system back then. It was like, oh, here's one thing wrong with it. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So nowadays, I gave it a 10. Once again, I really didn't know how to do reviews back then, but you know, let's see what you guys got. Bunch of 10s right off the bat. This episode's pretty good. You know, I think a 10's a pretty good score overall. Um, Couple more 10s. Bunch of 10s. There's a 9. Couple 9s in there. Couple 8s. Seeing anywhere from like 8 to 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Cole decided to go back on his word to give up cake. Which is, it's Cole. Like, what did you expect? But no, pretty high scores coming from the chat. I'm seeing anywhere from like 8s to 10s. There's 1 6 in there from what I can see. A couple of lower scores here and there, but ultimately the scores are very high, which I was expecting. What does Waffle rate this episode? I don't know. She was more interested in my Sharpie than watching the episode, so. But yeah, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for the review of The Weakest Link. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about Saving Faith. Today's Wednesday, if I'm remembering correctly. Might be mistaken. Yes, it is Wednesday. Okay. Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to be talking about Saving Faith. That's going to be the 8th episode, and then we will continue on the week from there. In the meantime, why don't we turn it over to a Q&A? We still got a little bit more time left on this stream, so let's talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. In terms of what season we should run, I am going to do a random generator to start, and then we'll take chat suggestions. Let's see. Let's see what we get here today. And it is 11. So we will start off with season 11 and then take fan suggestions from there. So, what do you guys want to talk about? In terms of announcements, I got nothing. So, let's go ahead and get some questions from the chat. I'm going to get a little more comfortable, and then we will pick things up from there. Is Lloyd the most powerful ninja? I feel like by default he is. Just in terms of his past and his history. I feel like the ninja are kind of evenly matched right now, but I feel like Lloyd still has a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the characters, but Oh yeah, Black Widow's coming to Disney Plus. That's right, I forgot about that. Yesterday they announced that Black Widow would be once again delayed to July 9th, but it will be available on Disney Plus, for $30. So, yay! I guess we're finally getting that movie. I still don't care about it, but hey, I'm glad that we're finally getting it. Is Decoded canon? From what I've heard, Decoded isn't. It's just kind of like a little bit of a fun thing that that new viewers could watch to catch up, because everyone knows that after the Ninjago movie, new Ninjago fans would start on season 8. Obviously, they wouldn't go back and watch the earlier seasons. That's kind of unheard of. No, but I don't think Decoded is canon. Yeah, how old the ninja are. They mentioned in season 9 this season, they're like, oh, we're still teenagers. No, but we're old teenagers. Whatever that means. Maybe they're all like 19, something like that. That would technically be an old teenager. So, did I ever review the pilot episode shorts? I did not. I'm considering making like a bonus stream or something like that, talking about like different shorts or whatever, but I haven't decided yet if I want to do that just yet. So, grown up teenagers. Yeah, so pretty much whatever you want to say for that. Like however old you want to like put the ninja, it's up to you. They've kind of confirmed that the ages really don't matter for these characters. At the end of the day, they are all Legos, so who really cares about their ages of these characters? Yeah, if you're paying, yeah, I agree with that. With Disney Plus, if you're paying for Disney Plus, dumb, they have to pay an extra $30. I saw a tweet that was like, that'd be like you pay for a ticket to a movie and you walk in there and you sit down in the theater, and then someone comes up to you and is like, oh, hey, if you want to watch this movie, you got to give me an extra $30. So, yeah, I kind of agree with that tweet. It's kind of, I don't know, like some movies get put on Disney Plus for free, but most of them you got to pay like $30 to watch, and I don't even think you get them forever. You get them for like a limited time. I don't think they're going to delay Black Widow again. I think they've delayed it enough to the point where they're just going to release it regardless. So, yeah, I'm not even sure if it's going to be worth the extra money either. I guess I'll just kind of wait and see what happens. Like, I'm not super excited for Black Widow, but I do want to watch it, so. And I really don't want to go into theaters because of the pandemic and such. So. Do I think that Teletoon messed up the season 15 episode release dates like they did with season 11? I have a theory that that might be the case. Like, honestly, I'm curious to see if the season 15 episodes still keep their release date of, what was it, April 4th? Yeah. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, what if they like change it at the last minute and just play some other random Ninjago episode there? What if somebody messed up and just put season 15 descriptions there instead? I mean, it very well could happen. Yeah, it is super early for that. Like I was honestly really surprised that we were getting them that quick. Something seemed a little suspicious. How would Waffle do Spinjitzu Burst? Well, you need to be surrounded by your element, right? So what if I just put a bunch of like frozen waffles around her? She could probably activate the burst. Um, yeah, it'd be weird not getting a trailer. Yeah, it is kind of sketchy. It is kind of strange. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to that. If I'm being honest, I think there's a chance that we might get them, but I don't know. In the back of my head, I'm still thinking they're probably just going to delay the episodes because it's kind of early, and we're only getting them from like Canadian TV stations. So that's a good question. Might get 3 seasons in 2021. I'm not sure about that. I feel like if we get season 15 on April 4th, then we're not going to be seeing anything else for like the rest of the year. I feel like we're not going to get like a season 16, if you will, until 2022. So, I would rather have them delay the episodes and maybe have them come out in like May or June. That'd probably be a better time frame to release them in. If because it just spreads it out. Like if we get season 15 April 4th, it's going to be done by like May. So we're going to be spending the entire rest of the year without any new episodes. So I'd rather them space it out so that we can actually, get some stuff later on in the year. That'd be fun. Yeah, if it's a long season, then I don't really have an issue with that. If it's a long season that can last a long time, then we should be fine. We know that it's at least going to have more than 4 episodes, so that's good. How many streams are left? Let's see. This is episode 7 of Hunted, so we have episode 8, 9, and 10, those three, and then we're going to be doing the 4 episodes of March of the Oni. So, 7 streams left, if I can do math. If everything goes to plan, we should be done by the end of next week. So that'll be interesting. Whereas roommate, she's got something to do today. She's like helping her aunt with something, I think. So she's probably not going to be around March of the Pony. 18 or 20 episodes. I'm not sure like what they're going to be doing. If anything, I would have to say like maybe 16 episodes if I had to guess. Just kind of goes with seasons 12 and 13. I'd say maybe 16 episodes is a good thing. A good number. Whereas Waffle's sitting on the chair behind me. She was trying to eat Sharpies earlier, so she got grounded to the chair. Do I think sand should be an elemental power? I don't know. To me, that seems a little too similar to like Earth. Like it's kind of like Bionicle logic, where you got stone and you got Earth being 2 different elements. You could do that with Ninjago and have like a master of sand, but I don't know. Would I review Jurassic World Dominion or Godzilla vs Kong? I'm not sure if I'd review either of those. If I see Godzilla vs Kong and it blows me away, then I might do a video on it. Um, that comes out towards the end of the month here, pretty quick, huh? So maybe. Otherwise, with Jurassic World Dominion, I don't think that comes out until next year. So it's too early to tell if I'm going to be doing a video on that or not. But ultimately, with the Jurassic World movies, none of them have really impressed me so far, if we're being honest. That's a fair point. You got water and ice, so sand and earth. That's actually a fair point. Yeah. Maybe sand could be an element then. I don't know. To me, with like Bionicle, that always bothered me. That stone and earth were like 2 different elements. But that's a fair point. Because water and ice are very similar. So as I take a sip of my water. March of the Pony is the new season 17 name confirmed. There you guys have it. Worst Jurassic Park / World movies. Well, running through the entire series, to me, the first one is the only one worth anything. Like the original Jurassic Park. But I think the worst one is the most recent one, which was what, Fallen Kingdom? Really did not like that one. I thought that one was the worst one. I remember seeing it in the theater with my mom when it came out because my mom's a huge fan of Jurassic Park, like as a series. She likes it. And, she loved the movie. I didn't. I like the bit where Chris Pratt touches lava, but he's fine. Um, I see a couple of comments asking for season 7 and season 4. So how about we do season 4 and then we'll do season 7. We'll make like a queue, if you will. Wind should be a main element, while ice and lightning are just secondary ones. Yeah, I'd say like with that makes sense. Like the main elements being fire, water, earth, and wind. That makes sense. It kind of goes back to like what Avatar, Last Airbender. Aren't those like the main elements in that show? But yeah, Ninjago decided to make the 4 primary elements fire, lightning, earth, and ice, which is interesting. It's a unique choice. It sets it apart from something like Avatar. Is Akita dead? Probably not. I'd say she's still kicking. I think she could totally come back at some point. Yeah, water, fire, earth, and air. Yeah, I thought that sounded familiar. I haven't seen a lot of Avatar. I've only seen like the first couple of episodes, but from what I remember, those are like the main elements. So I think that selection of 4 is interesting too. But I kind of, I'm used to Ninjago's main 4 elements. Um, what if the power of Earth was taken literally, where you could control the Earth, like control the planet? That'd be funny. Yeah, I feel like yeah, like with Ninjago, I've seen a lot of similarities to Avatar. I did a couple of videos on it too, like talking about Ninjago's big inspirations and whatnot. I do feel like Avatar was an inspiration for Ninjago in some degree. But yeah, they had to switch it up a little bit. If they made the 4 elements, the same as Avatar's, I feel like it'd be a little too close for comfort. Most nostalgic Ninjago moment. I still feel nostalgia for seeing Master Wu walk down the path in front of the blacksmith shop, like the very first shot of the series. Still nostalgic. I love it. I actually do really enjoy that shot. Like the entire conversation with Wu and Kai in the blacksmith shop is super fun. I love it quite a bit. Is Wu's tea shop canon? No. That's been confirmed to not be canon. If it were to have been canon, I feel like it would have taken place at some point in between Day of the Departed and Hands of Time, maybe. So, should I save up 30 more bucks to get Zane's Titan mech, or should I just get the Tournament of Elements? Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like the tournament has a little bit more value in terms of figures, but the Titan mech has better value in terms of a build. So I'd recommend deciding what your priorities are. Do you want good minifigures, or do you want a good build or like a good mech? If you want good minifigures, I'd say go for the Tournament of Elements set, because I got a couple of exclusive elemental masters. It would help build your army a little bit, build your minifigure collection. Or if you wanted the Titan mech, you're really only getting like one good figure, being the new Zane, but you're getting a really good mech. So it's up to you. I'd personally get the Titan mech, but that's just me. Let's see. Getting bullied for liking Ninjago. Any advice? Well, ultimately with that, I mean, they're gonna like their own things. You're gonna like your own thing. It doesn't really matter like who likes what, and if people are bullying you for watching Ninjago, then that's their problem. That's their fault. Like from my advice to you, I'd recommend just keep on watching Ninjago, keep on doing what you love. Don't listen to what anyone else says. Ultimately, if it does get under your skin, just walk away. Do your own thing. You can live your own life, and not have to listen to people like that. That's actually a question that I get a lot on the channel, and it's something that I've never really experienced per se. Not really in person, at least. In person, it was always like for me, the Beyblade versus Ninjago argument at my school. But yeah, in terms of like being bullied for liking Ninjago, I think that's really messed up. But ultimately, you do you, live your own life, and nobody else really matters in that scenario except for you. So hopefully that helped. I'm not the best at giving advice. Um, yeah, and like my friends when we were growing up, we really liked Ninjago. A lot of them dropped off around like the end of season 2 to like the beginning of Rebooted. Like if you ask them nowadays, the last season that they remember is the robot season. That's exactly what they say. So they've missed a lot of Ninjago going forward, but it was a lot of fun. We always had like rivalry, like I said, with like the Beyblade Club, if you want to call it that. So, um, I feel like a lot of us are well past the age demographic. Like I'm in my 20s, still watching the series, still loving the series. So I've been loving the series for the past 10 years. So, ultimately it just becomes like part of your life or whatever. So, do you have any anime pictures to put up, like on the stream or just in general? Because my room's pretty crowded right now in terms of wall space. Friends stop watching around Tournament of Elements. Man, yeah, I wish my friends could have seen Tournament. Every once in a while, I'll update like one of my friends that I still talk to this day. Like we've been friends since we were both like 4 years old. Like long friendship, but I still message him occasionally. Stuff that's going on with Ninjago. Like he used to be a really big fan of Zane, so I'll show him like the most updated Zane minifigure or whatever, and he really likes Island Zane. He thinks Island Zane is really cool looking, which it is. I like it. Why don't we switch over to season 7 because that was the next one that you guys had suggested. So, just got the Boulder Blaster. Cool. I was thinking of taking apart the Boulder Blaster. I was considering last night getting rid of some legacy sets in exchange for more shelf space for the season 14 sets. But I'm not sure what I want to take apart. I'll probably take apart the X1, maybe the Boulder Blaster. Who knows? Who's to say? Both. Well, like I said, I don't really have much wall space anymore for anything. So, like my door literally has Ninjago posters like everywhere. Favorite season? Season 4. Thoughts on Zoom bombing? What is Zoom bombing? Is that when you bomb Zoom meetings and Zoom classrooms? I've seen videos where people like troll Zoom classrooms and it just seems like really not productive. So, I'll donate $50 if you dab on stream right now. How about you keep the $50 and do a dab yourself? How about that? Could I rank the Ninjago posters? That's an interesting idea. I'd say like some of my favorite Ninjago posters, just like putting a couple out there right now. I love the season 13 poster. I also enjoy a lot of posters for the Ninjago movie. I think the Ninjago movie did a really good job at putting out different posters, and the trailers are awesome. I like that. In terms of ranking them, I could totally write that down as a potential idea. Yeah, on my door I have the 6 ninja in their character posters for the Ninjago movie, and they're all framed up and everything. They all look super nice. So, and plus I like the movie. So, yeah, the March of the Oni poster is pretty cool too. Do I want Chief Mamadas to come back in season 15? I almost guarantee you that he'll come back. I feel like they're going to be stealing that second amulet from Wajira or some capacity. They're going to be doing something like that. Either way, I feel like Wajira is going to be getting both amulets. So you're going to have to go back to the island and pick up the amulet from the keepers. So I almost guarantee that the keepers and Chief Mamadas will probably return in season 15 to an extent. I will be genuinely surprised if they do not. So. Rarest Ninjago piece I have, like in terms of like a minifigure or just a set. I think in terms of like a minifigure, I think some figures are super hard to get a hold of, such as Nero, Master of the Mind. That figure costed me a fair bit to add to my collection. Otherwise, right now, Golden Master Wu is going for a little bit online too. So if you guys have Golden Master Wu from the City Gardens, you got yourself a pretty rare figure there. Exclusive to the biggest Ninjago set of all time. Yeah, gonna go for a pretty penny online. So. Um, yeah, I feel like if the ninja were still on the island at the start of season 15, that'd be a good idea. I feel like they could easily transition from season 14 to 15. How long do I think it'll be? I think season 15 will probably be about 16 episodes if I had to make a guess. I feel like they're going to keep that season 12 and 13 standard of having 16 episodes. We know that it's more than 4, though. We know that it at least has more episodes than the island, so that's good. Have I gotten any Jurassic World / Park merch? Well, right now I have on, coincidentally, a Jurassic World t-shirt, or Jurassic Park t-shirt, my bad. But that's about it. I don't really collect, and I have the movies too. I have the movies and I have a shirt. That's about it. Otherwise, in terms of merch, I don't really collect like the figures or whatever for Jurassic World or whatnot. I don't know. I don't care about the movies that much to buy like merch for it, but the original is still great. I also have the book, Jurassic Park, the book, that the movie's based on. I have that. So I like the first one. The first movie's like godly, but all the rest of them kind of fall flat. what was my reaction when I saw how the ninjas changed look from season 8 onwards? My reaction was, I think I was just like, well, I hope they'll explain that in some way. You know, I just wanted an explanation to something, and we got a little bit of that in season 8, I guess, but ultimately it didn't really give that big of an explanation. We just had to piece it together. Yeah, Transformers 5 wasn't good. That was probably the worst movie that I've seen in the theater, and I saw it twice in the theater, and I hated myself both of the times I went and saw it. Not good. No good at all. There is some stuff that I enjoy though, like Megatron's design. I think is the best Megatron design that we've gotten for the movies, and I like when he kills Anthony Hopkins. That was funny, but ultimately, you know, yeah, no good. Bad movie. When did I start watching Ninjago? I started when it began with the pilots. I remember getting, well, my cousins at the time had like Lego Club magazines, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I want them. And it was around the time that Hero Factor was coming out, so probably like July-ish of 2010. And I remember getting a couple of those Lego magazines and, reading up on that. And then for the January issue, I saw Ninjago. And I was like, ooh, this is cool. This looks fun. I remember in that magazine they had character profiles for the four ninja, I was like, yeah, this looks cool. This looks awesome. And then I turned the page and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're actually getting a little bit of a show for this coming on Cartoon Network here in a couple days. So ultimately, I watched it and fell in love with it and have not looked back since. So the origins of my Ninjago fandom come from that one Lego magazine that I got as a child. So the aspect ratio changes too much in Transformers 5. Yeah, it gives you a headache when you watch it because Michael Bay, literally shoots on three different cameras within the same scene. It's not like something like I know Chris Nolan does this a lot with his movies, like The Dark Knight Rises, for example. The aspect ratio changes in between scenes, but with Transformers 5, it changes in between shots, so you're just watching like a headache. Favorite horror movie? If you can count Tremors 1990 as a horror movie, then that one. Otherwise, I enjoy like Cabin in the Woods is hilarious. I love that movie. Um, Paranormal Activity, only the first one. That one's awesome. All the rest of them kind of suck a little bit, but ultimately with horror movies, they're either really good or really bad. Like to me, there's not like just an okay um, horror movie. But I got a couple of favorites in there. Hopefully, I was able to answer that question. How much is the original Overlord minifigure, like from Rebooted? Let's take a look and see what Bricklink is selling it for. Bricklink.com. Yeah, I'd recommend using Bricklink if you want to like buy like used figures for cheap. It just depends on what figure you're looking at and what figure you're going for. In terms of the Overlord, I'm seeing anywhere, at least in terms of the original figure, anywhere from $30 all the way to $180. So obviously a pretty interesting range there, $30 to $180, but that just depends on quality as well. The cheapest that I can find it on Bricklink is for 29 something. So at the least, you're probably looking at $30 for that figure. What happened to Zane's Falcon? It was built into the motorcycle that Zane used for Sons of Garmadon and promptly never seen again. Rest in peace. Why don't we skip over to, what did I say? Season. Let's do the pilots because I'm feeling nostalgic. 180 is a bargain for a minifigure. Oh, for sure. No, I had Cartoon Network when I saw that in the magazine. Like Cartoon Network was still a thing. I don't really watch it now because I don't have cable. But back when I was like 10, 11 years old, reading up on Ninjago, yeah, we had cable. I still lived at my parents' back then, so. Um, Black Falcon or the Metal Falcon. I always enjoyed the original Falcon design. I wasn't really a big fan of when they changed the Falcon to being metallic. I get why they did it, because obviously Zane turned metallic in titanium, so might as well do it to the Falcon too, right? But I don't know, I always enjoyed the original. Oni Trilogy animation or Island animation? Probably Oni Trilogy. I still think that animation is probably the best that we've seen throughout all of Ninjago, but the Island animation is definitely not too bad. Yeah, Cartoon Network used to be cool. Like I remember back when Ninjago was coming out, I used to watch Adventure Time, regular show, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately it just turned into stupid stuff. So I chose not to watch it. And then the rest of Cartoon Network kind of fell apart. So, yeah, not a good channel anymore. Do I think Wajira would die if she leaves the water? I feel like she could leave the water for a little bit. I feel like that's possible. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, though, because she is like a giant underwater serpent, so we'll just have to wait and see. Favorite Transformers show in terms of designs? I honestly think like Transformers animated has a really good aesthetic. You know, it looks really nice. They have really good character designs. But Transformers Prime is just, I think that's the best in terms of design. Like they all look fantastic in that show. It's like such a good show to watch. Otherwise, Beast Wars has really good designs too, but the animation was kind of sucky during the late '90s. So Beast Wars doesn't look the best, but you know it's still a fantastic story. Beast Machines kind of takes things downhill, though. I don't really like Beast Machines. That probably has the worst character designs out of all of them. They ruined Rat Trap. They ruined my boy. I think Wajira is like a water serpent thing. I feel like that's the best way that I can describe it. I don't think she's a dragon. I think she's just a serpent that somehow has an amulet stuck in her head. We'll have to wait and see what that's about. What should I ask for? The Spinjitzu Monastery, the Firestone Robot? I'd recommend the Monastery. The Firestone mech is kind of cool in terms of a design, but I like it more in the show. You know. Yeah, I think the Monastery is a lot better. Favorite dragon set? Well, there's been some pretty cool dragons throughout Ninjago. Most recently, the Jungle Dragon is quite amazing. I'd recommend the Jungle Dragon to anyone who doesn't have it just yet. It's probably one of the best sets in recent Ninjago memory, but otherwise, the Overlord Dragon's a lot of fun. You know, probably the Overlord Dragon or the Jungle Dragon for sets that are out right now. I think the ninja should have kept Zippy. I reckon we'll see Zippy back again. I'm sure he'll come back in season 15 in some regard. Yeah, Beast Machines, I was not a fan of those designs. Ugh. Like, if you guys have seen Transformers Beast Machines, if you guys know what Cheetor looks like, his legs, man, his legs are disgusting to look at. Oh my gosh. I'd say Optimus looks the best out of everybody, but, you know. Do I like Smokescreen? From Transformers Prime, yeah, he was okay. He was kind of like the typical Hot Rod character, but, you know, I felt like it would have been better if it was just Hot Rod and not Smokescreen, but, you know, yeah, Smokescreen was cool. It actually gave some type of development to that name. Previous Smokescreens really didn't have much of anything, unless you're talking about Unicron trilogy stuff. Did the Ninjago show copy the animation style of the Ninjago movie? I feel like they took notes from it, but I don't think they just directly copied it. Like it didn't really feel like stop motion esque in the show as much as it did in the movie. In the movie, yeah, it's very much designed to look like stop motion. It's not stop motion, but it's designed to look like it. I feel like they just took notes on some of the animation. Maybe they definitely took notes in terms of scenery. Like Ninjago City in the show now looks very similar to how it looked in the movie. Do I like Bumblebee in Prime? He was okay. I like when he got his voice back and changed up his colors. That was kind of cool. I remember watching the finale for Transformers Prime. I was on vacation and we were in like a vacation house when I was younger on the beach, and I was watching it on the beach. It was a pretty cool way to watch the finale of Transformers Prime, just chilling on a beach. What's the beverage? We got ourselves a bottle of water. Went to the gas station last night to fill up my car with gas, and I picked up some water. So Season 10 picks? Sure. Best Bionicle year. A little bit of a controversial opinion. I'd say 2015 is probably the best year for Bionicle. Honestly, with the reboot coming out, the relaunch of Bionicle, that was a pretty good start to the new Bionicle, and then it was promptly canceled a year later. But 2015 was a really good year for Bionicle. I'd say that. Are there any sets that are $20? Yeah, actually, just came out. The Jungle Chopper bike retails for $20 USD. So, and it's not too bad. It's a pretty good looking bike. Wasn't season 4 next? We did season 4 earlier. We did season 4, then we switched to season 7, and now we're doing whatever you guys want. Whatever you guys want, excuse me. Have I seen the Prime Predacons Rising movie? Yes, I did, and that was also really cool. I liked that movie quite a bit. Optimus Prime kind of, sacrifices himself at the end, as he usually does throughout every single Transformers thing ever. But, it was a pretty cool movie. I liked it. Why can't Ninjago bikes get kickstands? Yeah, I know. Instead, we get, like, these exhaust pipes on the Jungle Chopper bike that somehow double as a kickstand as well, even though I think that's cheating a little bit. Do I play Minecraft? I used to, not so much anymore. These days, I really don't touch Minecraft. Yeah, I liked Predacons Rising. Am I enjoying season 9 less than season 7? I'd say upon rewatch, season 9 is a lot better than season 7. I feel like I'm giving a lot more positive scores. I don't remember what I gave for Hands of Time, but I feel like I'm enjoying season 9 a lot more. Whereas Kat, she's got something to do today. She is helping her aunt move something or pack up something or whatever. I'm not so sure what she's doing, but she's not here. Least accurate Ninjago set ever. Least accurate Ninjago set. What about the original Earth Driller? If you compare the original Earth Driller to the Earth Driller in the show, there is a very big difference. The set for the Earth Driller looks awful, in my opinion, the original. The Legacy remake is a little better, but the original, yeah, that's not show accurate in the slightest. A lot of the final battle stuff isn't super accurate to what we saw in the show, except for Kai's fire mech. I'd say that little mech is actually a lot more accurate than a lot of other things. So, yeah, I wouldn't say season 7's bad. To me, season 7 is just kind of average, middle ground. I get why people don't like it though. Should I buy the Gamers Market? Yeah, you totally should. It has a lot of really solid minifigures, and it's a pretty good price. Yeah, the original Monastery kind of sucks too. Do I recommend the Epic Battle sets? Yeah, I'd say get one and see how you like it. I bought all of them, and I kind of regret buying all of them. But you do get some really cool exclusive figures. So, and they're cheap sets too. So if you wanted to buy all of them, it wouldn't be too expensive, you know. But I don't know. I'd recommend getting one, seeing how you like it, and if you like it, get the other three. Otherwise, they're worth it for the figures alone. They got some really nice figures. Do I like Harumi? Harumi's okay. She's all right in terms of a character, in terms of a villain. I feel like she's not the best villain ever, but she's definitely not the worst. Probably like in the middle as well. Maybe like upper middle. Upper middle is probably where I'd put her in terms of like if I lined up all the villains from favorite to least favorite. Hermie would probably be in the upper middle section. Least favorite Ninjago realm. Is it okay if I say Chima? Because technically that's a realm, right? And Chima is not that great of a show from what I remember. So I like the sets though. The sets I always thought were kind of cool. I got some of the sets back in the day. But the show, I don't know about the show. Templar of Resurrection or Skull Sorcerer's Dungeons? I'd say go for the Resurrection Temple. I think that one's better than the Skull Sorcerer's Dungeons. Best Ninjago wave. Probably, honestly, the original wave's pretty good. Otherwise, Rebooted's pretty solid as well. Um, Legacy's pretty good, honestly. I'd say the original. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like the original Ninjago hit hard when it came out. We got a lot of sets, a lot of spinners. It was like a phenomenon, and it was so cool. I wish that I was a little bit older back when Ninjago first came out, because I want a lot of those older sets again. But I didn't have a lot of money back then, so I only had like allowance every month, and my allowance every month was $10, so I was able to buy a spinner pretty much every month. Hold on one second. Kat is borrowing my car and she needs help with the trunk. There we go. All right, we're good now. PS5 or Xbox Series X? I'm probably gonna get a PS5 when I eventually get one, but I don't really care for either of those right now. I'm not in the market to get a new console. Right now I have a PS4, but oh yeah, Ninjago sets have definitely improved. But in terms of like a wave, season like the first wave hit really hard. It was a really good start for Ninjago. I wish that I could go back in time and relive that. I'd rather live in 2011 than 2021, that's for sure. Can I rank the epic battle sets really quickly? Um, in terms of the epic battle sets, my opinions might have changed a little bit. I'd say Zane's is probably my least favorite, then Cole's, then Jay's, then Kai's. Maybe. Is there only 4 epic battle sets? It feels like there should be more. Do I think Harumi completely turned good before she died? I feel like she realized what she did, you know, and she kind of helped herself get redeemed by saving that child that was in the same position that she was in. So I think that she, like, you know, she realized what she'd done wrong, but then she died. She corrected her mistakes, but she wasn't around to see the effects of that. So yeah, I wouldn't say she turned completely good, but she actually had like a realization of what she was doing wrong. So if she would have remained alive, I feel like she definitely could have, you know, gone through a little bit of what do you call it? Like she could have fixed herself up a little bit, you know, maybe gone to therapy a little bit. That probably would benefit her. But you know, ultimately Harumi got crushed by a building. Rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. Is Nexo Knights bad? I wouldn't say it's bad. I think it's kind of just underwhelming. I'd say like the sets, once again, like Chima, I thought the sets were awesome. I ended up getting a couple of the Nexo Knights sets too, but the show, I didn't really like the show. The show was just very meh to me, at least for the first couple of episodes. I haven't seen everything. Season 13, sure. Season 13 images, and then we'll probably use the season 13 images to round out the stream because we only got a couple of minutes left. So. Each epic battle set is going to be $10 USD, so they are pretty cheap in terms of you know, comparing it to other Lego sets. But you know, I'm not sure if everyone's going to get the same benefits in getting all 4 of them. I will say, if you get all 4 epic battle sets, you do get a lot of those elemental weapons, which are super fun. They come in different colors, and they're really cool for customization and stuff. So that's probably incentive to get it right there, and the figures. Why are they removing old sets? Just how it goes. Eventually, sets retire and go off the store shelves to make room for new ones. So, you know, it's just how it works. Circle of life, I suppose. Um, if Harumi was alive, do I think she'd be with Lloyd? Probably at this point, yeah. I'd say maybe right away she might have, like, you know, gone to therapy or, you know, spent some time in prison for some stuff that she did. But maybe when she got out, maybe she'd be with Lloyd. I will say, I think if Harumi would still be alive, I doubt we would have gotten like Akita as being like a potential love interest for Lloyd. I use the term love interest very loosely there because all they did was share a little bit of a kiss on the cheek at the end of season 11 and then move on with their lives, and they're probably never going to see each other again. But you know, it was a cute moment. I liked it. I liked Akita. But yeah, if Harumi was still around, Akita would probably not exist, at least not in the same role that she was in season 11. So. I feel like they could have worked it out. I feel like Lloyd and Harumi could have worked it out if they decided to, you know, work on Harumi. I feel like they totally could have worked it out. But that's just my opinion. We'll never know because Harumi was hit by a building and unfortunately perished. To which Garmadon was not happy. Could I build a custom Lloyd and Nia epic battle set? That's actually an interesting idea. I was kind of thinking of what that could be. I've seen a couple of people say that maybe you could make like a Nia versus Sky Pirates epic battle set, or like a Lloyd versus Stone Army epic battle set or something like that. That'd be cool. Um, to remember their character names from Avatar. I know Aang. Is it Aang or Ong? I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways. I think it's Aang. I think they called it Ong in the really terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think it's Aang. Otherwise, that's about it. I know him, the kid with the arrow on his head. With only a couple of minutes left in the stream, why don't we turn it over to rapid fire questions? Anything that I can answer in just a quick sentence or 2, let me know, and then that'll be a good way to round out the stream. Yeah, sorry, we're almost done. But if there's ever like a moment where you guys come in right at the last minute, the streams will always be up on the channel afterwards in video form. So if you wanted to, you could totally rewatch the stream, catch up on it if you would like. It's only if you guys want to. The option's there. Did I like Skylar from the start? Yeah, she was pretty cool. I liked her character pretty much right off the bat. So, ever been cheated on? No, I have not been, thankfully. Fingers crossed. What kind of set would you like to see a new Skylar anything come with? I think they could totally like give Skylar like a vehicle of her own. I think that'd be cool if she had like, a vehicle that wasn't a glider. Alden 199 donation, thank you very much. Akita versus Harumi. In terms of characters, I think Harumi's a little better, but Akita, I like her design more. I like her with Lloyd a lot more, so probably Akita in that scenario, just because I personally enjoy Akita. But if they were to fight, I'd say Harumi would probably win. Or maybe Akita would win. I don't know. It's a good question. Because Akita's got some powers. You know what? Akita would win. Akita would win against Harumi. What if Ninjago Legacy film come out after season 15? What was that question? If a Ninjago Legacy movie came out? Or what if Ninjago Legacy would continue after season 15? It's going to continue for a while. I apologize. I'm not super sure what that question's asking. Do I think Harumi could come back in a Lloyd season and the island is not a Lloyd season? I think if Harumi wanted to come back, they would do it already. They would have done it by now. And yeah, I agree. The island is more like a team season with a little bit of an emphasis on Lloyd. Yeah, it's in my experience, wolves usually win if you put them up against humans. So yeah, I'd say Akita would win. I don't know why I thought Harumi. Lloyd's into girls who wear black, red, and white. Yeah, it's kind of a strange coincidence. I think Lloyd has a type. He's also into girls that can transform into wolves. I mean, to each their own, I guess. How come Garmadon didn't recognize Skylar? He knew Skylar from season 4. I'm not sure if all the memories came back after Garmadon got revived. It might take him a little bit for him to remember literally everything, but you know. Alden with another 199 donation. Thank you very much. Cole, the cake eating Earth Ninja. That should be his full title. That's what I want to see is like his full title whenever he introduces himself to a villain, you know? That'd be funny. Thanks again, Alden, for the 199. Do I think Lloyd is too much of a spotlight character? Nah, I don't think so. I think he gets enough attention nowadays. I feel like back in the day, yeah, he was kind of an attention hog, but nowadays they kind of dialed it back a little bit. Is Akita an Animorph? Yes, confirmed. Do I think that during season 4 we should have gotten more of Chen taking over Ninjago? Yeah, I feel like he probably could have bumped up his scale a little bit. We saw him raid a lot of villages and stuff, and that was kind of cool. He kind of went for like smaller scale villages before he attacked like the main Ninjago city. So I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of that before the ninja stopped him. Where do I think Garmadon is in season 14? Not sure. Probably off doing who knows what. Self-isolating in the woods, perhaps. Hiding from the coronavirus, maybe. Had a dream when I married Obama. I'd marry Obama. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, you know what I'm saying? Do I think Nia will say, Jay, I love you in season 15? I hope so. I very much hope so. We need that. You guys want to see the waffle picture? All right, how about this? Instead of answering a final question, I'll show you guys the waffle picture, and then we'll just wrap things up from there. So this is the waffle image, begging for shredded cheese at 3 a.m. like she does. She's a little troublemaker. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream today then. Why don't we wrap things up? We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will update this day by day. If there's ever a day where I can't stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab. So that'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for hanging out. We can spam hug in the chat. Some of y'all have already kicked that off for me. Thank you very much. We'll type it in 3 times because it's the 3rd stream of the week. And that'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the waffle image. Yeah, she's a little troublemaker, but we love her. You know, she has a good home. We treat her well. We don't feed her cheese though. She's not getting that. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. A couple more videos coming out on the channel today. If you want to stick around and check those out, feel free. Otherwise, tomorrow we're going to be talking about saving faith. That'll be the next episode that we cover on this channel. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Screenshotted it. Nice. Yeah, the waffle picture should be for everybody. But yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, subscribe, yada yada, do all that fun stuffs. And I will see you guys later. Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.